Hey, it's Irreverent Aegis here, and in this video I want to walk you through how to tank Frostvault hard mode. In this video you'll see me do it on my Argonian Templar tank. This is the fourth different tank class that I have completed the hard mode with, including a Necromancer, a Warden, and a Sork. So this will be the fourth one with the Templar tank. Interestingly enough, the Templar tank was by far the easiest to tank this with, and also it was the most fun for several reasons. One, my incredibly fast res. I'm using the Jesus Aegis build, which is fantastic. You'll get to see it in action here, pull off some crazy stunts. And second, I get to use Aurora Javelin. So, that's really cool, and you'll see me actually do some extra stuff in this hard mode that I can't do on other tanks. That being said, let's go over some of these mechanics. While you're holding aggro on Stonekeeper, it is the job of your DPS to break the arms one at a time. As soon as an arm goes down, a giant Centurion comes up, and it's very important that the Centurion is taken down as soon as possible, as that is the biggest threat to your health, along with all of the other things going on. Stonekeeper itself has three main attacks. The arm to my right applies that AoE fire that needs to be blocked through. The main body of Stonekeeper is going to shoot a laser beam at me, and we already killed the arm to my left, but that applies a spinning blade attack. Pretty much you just need to keep up your block most of the fight. This fight is pretty resource intensive, and it's worse because that blue fog around me is a major defile. What's really nice about the Templar is I don't take a whole lot of damage because I can just spam my damage shield and take care of everything. Now that that second Centurion is down, my fun as a Templar tank really begins, as I get to pull out my freshly polished spear and go BAM! And knock those Dwarven arquebuses off the cliff. Where Stonekeeper used to have arms, now he has fire, and it spins in circles. My job during this phase while avoiding the fire is to do some cleaning. BAM! Take that second Dwarven arquebus. I re-aggro the boss near the end of the phase so my teammates don't get hit by the laser beam, but to borrow a line from Crantius Colto, cleaning, eh? I have something for you. Here, polish my spear. BAM! We're about to enter another fire phase, and the most important thing you can do is identify what direction the fire is spinning, and then start moving. A lot of people go the wrong way because they're expecting it to go one way, but it's not predictable, it's random. I'm going to get up my spear now and get ready to spear things off the edge. One teammate goes down, but first, BAM! Now I'll pull off the res because I am Jesus Aegis, and she's up. Just below 60%, we are going to go into the Skeevaton phase, and I'm going to grab the Guardian Schevitin, of course. But before I show footage of this, I'm going to go over how to complete the phase as a group and as an individual, no matter which Skeevaton you grab. There are 4 different green pads for your team to synergize to enter the Skeevaton phase. The 2 nearest the entrance are the Guardian Schevitin, that's on the left side, and the Repair Schevitin, which is going to be on the right side. The 2 furthest from the entrance are both Assault Skevitins. When preparing to do this hard mode, make sure everyone is assigned a role and knows which pad they are going to synergize, because each role will do something specific that is required to get you through this mechanic. The Guardian Schevitin is essentially your tank Skeevaton. Its main roles are to provide a group damage shield, buff the group's speed, and also to blow up shock conveyors. As some side roles, it can also resurrect allies and help kill Dwarven spiders. You have 5 abilities on your bar. Absorb Energy, which is used to charge up your ultimate, which has to be done in order to blow up the shock conveyors. Reconstruction, which is the ability to resurrect your scrapped Skeevaton allies. A Propulsion Booster, which will boost the speed of yourself and ally Skeevitins to quickly get by the trap areas, most notably the flame areas. A 4th ability called Hazard Barrier. This is the big ability that provides a really large damage shield to your group, which is crucial to making sure that your team doesn't die. This is on a long cooldown, so after the cooldown ends, before using it, make sure everyone's grouped up to provide that big group damage shield. And then ability 5 is Lightning Chassis. This just deals a very small amount of damage to Dwarven spider enemies, so you can help kill them if needed. Finally, you have your ultimate ability, Discharge Energy, and when full, this is used to blow up shock conveyors. Next, we have the Repair Schevitin. Its main roles are to provide group healing, buff group speed, and blow up the shock conveyors. Only the Guardian Schevitin and the Repair Schevitin can blow up the shock conveyors. All roles can resurrect allies, so that's a side role for the Repair Schevitin as well. The first 3 abilities for the Repair Schevitin are exactly the same as the Guardian Schevitin. Absorb Energy charges the ultimate, Reconstruction resurrects scrapped Skeevaton allies, and Propulsion Booster gives the speed boost to the group. Ability 4 is Unique, Repair Skeevitons. That is a large group heal. It's on a very long cooldown, so this should really only be used as an emergency, or when everybody's grouped up and ready to split apart, as I'll go over a little later. Ability 5 is Spot Repairs. It is a very weak single ally heal. It doesn't heal a lot. It does have a cooldown, so pretty much the healer should just be spamming this whenever it comes up, because everyone will take a little bit of damage that can be healed throughout the entire phase. And then again, the ultimate is just Discharge Energy, and this is just used to blow up the shot conveyors when you have a full ultimate. As mentioned earlier, there are 2 Assault Skeevitons. Their main role is to kill stuff, and their side role is to resurrect fallen allies. Abilities 1 and 2 are the same as the other Skeevitons, Absorb Energy and Reconstruction. However, ability 3, which is your most important ability, is next. Frost Mine is used to freeze enemies and cause them to take massive damage. The idea as the Assault Skeevaton is to drop a Frost Mine, an enemy will walk through it, get frozen, and then once they do, you use ability 4, Volatile Spheres. This will do a ton of damage to them, but if they're frozen, it's going to instantly kill them. So Frost Mine first, Volatile Spheres second. That's how you deal with the adds here. It's very important to be able to use those 2 abilities in order, and only use Volatile Spheres after they're frozen. Ability 5, Lightning Chases. This just does a small amount of damage, just like it did on the Guardian Schevitin. Your ultimate is Shock Field, and this is used to snare enemies and increase their damage taken. Honestly, you don't really need to use this to get by this hard mode, however it can be helpful to slow down the enemies. Note, this Skeevaton's ultimate does not blow up shot conveyors, only the Guardian and the Repair Scheevitins can do this, so don't try to use your ultimate on a shot conveyor, it won't do anything. Now that we've gone over the individual roles and abilities for each of the Skeevitons, let's talk about the team strategy for completing this. This requires a lot of coordination for the group, so everyone should be on the same page. So once everyone transforms into Skeevitons, everyone should charge up their ultimates by hitting ability 1 in that center area. Then I propose that everybody should go north together. So all 4 Skeevitons should go north. The reason why I recommend north first is because north is the most dangerous direction to go. And when you have all 4 people together, it is the easiest to recover from any mistakes. You'll actually see this in the video once I show you the footage. You always wait for the fire to start and finish in the long hallways. Almost every long hallway has fire in it. So even if there's no fire when you get to a long hallway, always wait for it to start and finish. North has a twisting hallway in the very northwest corner. That's why it's the most dangerous. It's the only hallway that isn't a straight path that has fire, and a lot of times teams forget this or don't know this, so if they end up taking that path and have to take that path to get to the shot conveyor, that always ends up killing people if they're not prepared for it. So that's why we go north first. So anyway, always wait for that twisty hallway to end as well. Once the fire finishes, the Guardian or the Repair Schevitin should hit the speed boost and everyone should fly by the dangerous area. When you encounter the spinning blades, always go around them. Never try to go through them because they may just pop back up and start hitting you. You want to avoid this damage, so always go around them. Then, once the shot conveyor is reached, the Guardian or the Repair Schevitin should blow it up at the end of that lightning path. Next, you return the same direction you came and recharge ultimates. Again, very important, you recharge ultimates. I've been in some groups where whoever blew up the shot conveyor failed to recharge the ultimate and everyone was done, and then we wiped because somebody forgot to do their role of recharging the ultimate. So again, the Guardian and the Repair Schevitin, super important that you recharge those ultimates. Next, I believe everyone should turn right and follow the crown west. West is the second most dangerous hallway or path because one west pathway, at the end of it, there's a spinning blade before the shot conveyor. So rather than in the little junctions between hallways, they put a spinning blade right before the shot conveyor. And again, that catches people by surprise and ends up killing your Skeevitons. So if you go west second with all 4, it's easier to recover. All the rules about the fire hallways and the spinning blade continue to apply, and again, the Guardian or Repair Schevitin should blow up the shot conveyor at the end of the path. Then everybody returns back to the center, and once again, please recharge your ultimates. Now, this is where you need to split up. The Guardian Schevitin and 1 Assault Schevitin should head east, or south, doesn't matter. And then the repair Skeevaton and the other assault Skeevaton should head south, or east, whichever way the other team didn't go. You must split up into the Guardian in assault and the repair in assault, because the assault Skeevatons cannot blow up the shock conveyors. After the final 2 shock conveyors are destroyed, the Skeevaton phase will end. Finally, before I show the footage, I want to go over some role-specific tips. If you are the Guardian Schevitin, whenever your group is waiting for some reason, usually before a fire hallway or when recharging ultimates in the center, hit your damage shield. This is ability 4. If you're the repair Schevitin, save your big group heal. Again, it's on a huge cooldown for when multiple teammates have less than 50% health. Otherwise, just spam your weak heal the entire time when everyone's traveling together. Another good time to hit your big group heal is when everyone is charging up ultimates at the center, especially before the 2 teams split up and go their separate ways. And last, if you're the assault Skeevaton, I always recommend staying slightly behind the Guardian and repair Skevitins, especially when your group is split up, as enemies usually come up from behind. Then, hit the enemies with a Frost Mine first, that's ability 3, then obliterate them with a Volatile Sphere. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Freeze them, blow them up. Freeze them, blow them up. Usually can be pretty smooth. A great time to drop your ultimate is when the 2 teams are separated and multiple spiders are following you. The snare will give the Guardian or repair Skeevaton plenty of time to get some distance away to get to the shock conveyors unhindered. Alright, with that, let's actually show you some footage. So here we are in the beginning, charging up our ultimates all the way to 500, and me as the Guardian Schevitin, I'm going to lead the group north. At the top here, there won't be any fire, but that's a trap. We're going to wait for the fire to go by. So once the fire goes by, I'm going to hit my speed boost, and we're going to all get by it very quickly. Then we're just going to follow the little lightning path along the ground. This is the dangerous area, because again, at the northwest corner, we have another fire hallway that's unexpected. So we wait for the fire hallway, and then we're going to speed through. I'm going to head all the way and blow up the shock conveyor at the end here. And now we're going to head back the same way we came. Again, this twisting hallway has fire, so we're going to wait here until it's done. Our assault Skevitins are going to take care of any ads that pop up. And again, we're just simply waiting for the fire to go by so we don't get caught, burned to death in the middle of it. While waiting, I hit my damage shield, and then I speed us through when the fire goes away. But I make a mistake here. I overshoot the gap, and all my teammates go the right way. So, they make a mistake shortly after this, which is they didn't wait for me. So I get back over here, and they speed through, and unfortunately that means I'm going to die from either the spider or from fire. So I chose fire, so I die in the middle of the fire hallway. And then another mistake is made here, where somebody comes back for me without waiting for the fire and without killing the spider. So now we have to wait again for another teammate to come res us both. Luckily, that's not too hard to do. It's just one button to res everybody. So then she goes down in the fire because she rezzed us. But luckily, everyone has that res ability, so we've recovered from this, which was all caused by my mistake overshooting the gap. So we're going to go to the middle and we're going to recharge our ultimates again, very important, and then we're heading west. This west direction is going to be pretty uneventful on the way there. We're simply traveling all the way up, going around the spinning blades, and you'll see me hit my damage shield as soon as the cooldown is up. There it is, and I'm going to blow up this second shock conveyor. On the way back, we do run into a little bit of trouble. We get a little bit separated, so you'll see one of our teammates is going to start taking damage. And me and Suck Life are making our way all the way back so I can recharge my ultimate. We're going to end up going east here, and the other group is going to go south. But as we start going, I notice that our team's in trouble. One teammate's about to die, so we're going to go back and make sure that we get that person up, because Exponent Tulip there needs an Assault Skeevaton with her so she can go blow up the final shock conveyor. So we're going to go back, I'm going to res this teammate, and now we should be good to go. So again, we're just making sure all our ultimates are full, and we are going to head in our separate directions now. Now we only had time, barely, to finish this because we had to save ourselves, but luckily, we're going to make it to the very end here, and our other team's going to make it to the very end with just a couple seconds to go, because you only have 3 minutes total. And there's our complete Skeevaton phase for you. In returning back up to the top, it's very important that I grab aggro immediately upon returning, because sometimes the Stonekeeper wants to go hit somebody before I can grab aggro, which is bad. This phase is almost identical to the first phase. There are only 2 exceptions. One, now we have a blade that goes around the outside, or it goes around the inside. So what's important is that somebody in the group calls out whether everyone should be close to the boss or far away from the boss so we can avoid that extra spinning blade. But other than that, my job as the tank, I just keep aggro and then I just spam my damage shield as a Templar, or spam my heal if I'm something else, or something to keep me alive, because again, the damage here is pretty insane and you have a defile which prevents you from getting good heals. So the Templar tank with its massive damage shield is actually incredibly useful here. And again, when one arm is taken down, it spawns a Centurion, which you should grab, and then your teammate should take it down as quickly as possible. When the next arm goes down, we'll get another Centurion, and then the main difference between the second time we beat up the Stonekeeper versus the first time before Skeevaton phase is we will get a Centurion that is going to spawn sometime later after the second one is taken care of. One final mechanic in this second phase of Stonekeeper is that while he's doing the spinning fire, he will put out these conal AoEs that will blow you off the edge. He'll put out 2 of them, and they can actually be roll dodged through as they hit, so you don't need to worry about waiting for them to go by, because if you have a choice between waiting to go by and dying from fire, you're probably going to die from fire. So, while you're doing this, you can just roll dodge through them. So you'll see this actually happen right here. I'm going to roll dodge right through that, and it doesn't hit me off the edge. It looks like that extra Centurion drops down into the fight at 25%. Our DPS need to take care of that as soon as possible, and I need to aggro it as soon as I can. The issue is one of our DPS already went down, so this is going to get pretty tricky. Usually when somebody goes down during this phase of the fight, it's really hard to recover unless you have access to a really fast res, such as a Necro res, or, conveniently, I just happen to be running the Jesus Aegis build, so you'll see me pull off a res like it's nothing in a second here. And she is up. Alright, so, got her up, but unfortunately another person went down in the middle of that, so I'm going to pop my shield wall, run over, and he is up. No problem for Jesus Aegis. And of course another person went down in the middle of that, so now I'm just going to try to stay alive, avoid the fire, roll dodge through this, and bam, spear that guy, and keep moving. There's number 8, by the way. If your team knocks 20 of these guys off, then you get an achievement called drop testing. So I'm about to hit my 9th, and bam, there it is, and there's the drop testing achievement, which means that I Suck at Life must have knocked 11 of these dudes off to my 9. So he beat me a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to save his life here in a second. Here, things are going to get really crazy because look, we have 154,000 left, and my entire team is dead. So whatever will I do? Well, I'll probably pull off another crazy res here in the middle of all this stuff that's going on, and I will let I Suck at Life finish this off for us, and we will have the clear. If you liked this video, feel free to like or comment on it, subscribe to my channel, and please check out that Jesus Aegis build.